be talking to players from the entire team.
Today, I'm joined by Peyton Chattenay.
What's your mindset when you step on the mound?
When did you learn you were going to be in Orleans?
What do you think that feeling is going to be like?
Hi, Cape League fans. This is Coach K, manager of the Orleans Firebirds, and I'm here to tell you that Cape League baseball is back this summer, and it's time to meet the Bird King.
What's going on, Firebirds fans? Another edition of Meet the Bird Gang 2.0 right here on our Orleans Firebirds YouTube channel. I'm Gareth Kwok, sports broadcaster from Arizona State, and I'm happy to be one of the play-by-play voices for the Firebirds this upcoming summer. Happy to have alongside me a fellow ASU Sun Devil right here on our episode, freshman first baseman Jack Moss out of Inglewood, Colorado. Jack, how you doing, my man?
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. We're happy to have a little Sun Devil representation on the Cape and on Orleans this summer. Why don't you just take us through a little bit about how you found out that you were chosen for Orleans and how you're going to be playing for the Cape this summer?
Yeah, I was a senior in high school. I think it was like May of 2020 after our season got canceled because of COVID, and Coach Greenspan, our assistant here at ASU, sent me a text and said there was an opportunity for me to come play in the Cape for Orleans. And I obviously growing up around baseball, you hear all about the Cape Cod, and a lot of my older friends played in it before me, and so I was super excited to hear about that opportunity. I was super fortunate to have heard about it, and so jumped on the opportunity. And then about a month later, I think in July of 2020, that's when I first got in touch with Coach Nicholson, and yeah, here we are.
Well, it's been a real pleasure to see you play so far for Arizona State this season. And for those that aren't familiar with how Jack has done, you've really stepped in as the starting first baseman since the beginning of March, you could say. And, you've been able to provide the team with your left-handed hitting and your defense at first base. Just kind of a broad question, but how's the season been for you and how you've envisioned it?
It's been good. It's been good. There's been a lot of, ups and downs, but I mean, you'd expect that in baseball and, at really any level, man. I mean, just kind of the biggest thing I've learned about, baseball as a whole, especially at the collegiate level, that, you can maybe get away with some stuff in high school, but at this level, man, everybody's so good, is really just controlling the controllables. There's so much that's out of our control. And I think, if anything, COVID's taught us that, and at ASU, we've had a lot of ups and downs this year as a team, especially just in terms of dealing with injuries. And COVID's pretty, causes a roller coaster of stuff to happen. So just kind of keep a level head, man, stay in the present. And, but yeah, it's been good. Learned a lot about myself as a player and a person, and just trying to be the best teammate I can be every day.
You're one of the team leaders right now in hitting in the Pac-12. You're currently hitting over 350 against Pac-12 pitching, which is, that's just really impressive for, a true freshman like you coming out of high school. What changes have you made from your first at bat against Sacramento State? I'm sure there are a little bit of jitters you had there to now that you're facing some of the best pitching in the country. And just what changes have you made there?
Yeah, I mean, I think my first debut was actually we were down 4-2 in the bottom of the ninth, and there were 2 outs, and I got called on the pinch hit. So yeah, there are definitely a little bit of jitters there, but no, it's been all good, man. I mean, just kind of, I don't think I've made too many mechanical changes. I mean, if so, they've been super minor. I mean, it's just been more so about a belief in myself that, just I'm going to be the same guy, whether I'm 0 for 10 or 10 for my last 10. I mean, just having that confidence every AB, and just not trying to do too much. And, I have the best teammates that believe in me, and I have the best coaching staff that believes in me. So, I mean, really just comes down to belief in myself. So, I mean, that's just kind of been a maturation process that's just kind of been throughout the whole year. And, I'm still just trying to, get better, and I'm still maturing. I'm still learning about myself every day. So.
Well, mindset is big. And, I think for a lot of freshmen, coming out of high school, that jump from high school to college can be a little bit kind of a big jump, a little bit intimidating at first. What are some of the biggest differences that you've seen just from, when you played high school ball in Colorado to now at Arizona State? What big differences have you noticed in those two?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's going to be a lot of huge differences, I think, at any high school level, but especially where I come from in Colorado, there is really good talent, but it's more, I guess, few and far between, for lack of better words. I mean, like, we'd still get, a really good arm, every couple games, but, I mean, it'd be that one arm, and then you'd kind of have a break for like a game or two, and then you'd have another really good arm and have a break. But, here, man, I mean, you face a really good Friday night guy and you're like, okay, he's gone, who's the next guy? And it's the next guy to the pens, running it up to 97. And so, I mean, it's honestly just kind of, you have to stay in the game. You have to stay focused on every pitch because, I mean, you don't really have time to, take pitches off, especially, at this level, man, where, a guy, may only really give you one pitch to hit per AB. And, that one pitch to hit may be like a slider that, backdoors, cuts in at the last second. And, maybe he just hung it a little bit. So, yeah, I think that just the focus has to be a lot better at this level. I mean, I got away with, maybe not being as locked in as I probably could have been in high school baseball. And, I still had a lot of success in high school. So, like, it's just kind of just crazy, like, how much, what the difference is in terms of, the focus level.
Well, let's take it back early in April. You had your first college home run against Arizona out of all opponents, and you didn't hammer it to right center. You hit it you hit it right down the left field line. I'm pretty sure. And just what was that like to hit your first homer in a rivalry game against Arizona?
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome, man. I mean, when I first hit it, I knew I hit it pretty good, and I think their pole to left field's like 366 or something. So, like, it was like pretty deep. So I knew I hit it good, but I'd never hit like a home run to, I guess, like true left field. And so I was, you can see in the video, man, I'm just sprinting out of the box. I think I was rounding second base, like on a dead sprint. And I look at the field umpire, and, he put his hand up and was signaling homer. And so I was like, I didn't get to enjoy it too much rounding the bases, but once I saw it, man, I kind of slowed down to, give Coach Greenspan a high five. I was like, it's pretty awesome. I mean, it's what, every kid dreams about is, being in a situation like that and hitting a home run. And to be in a rivalry game like that, it was pretty spectacular. So.
How about just as a whole, what have you enjoyed the most just about playing for Arizona State and for the Sun Devils this season as the regular season comes to a close?
Yeah, I mean, just the challenge aspect of it, man, and just kind of grouping together as a team. I think that everybody kind of wrote us off pretty early in the season because we had, we had our Friday, Saturday, Sunday guys all go down with injury. And I mean, we've been pretty banged up as a team, and just kind of how we've grouped together, and I guess the resilience of us, man. I mean, it's pretty special what we have going on in that locker room. And I mean, just to be able to accept that challenge as a group and as a whole, and kind of embrace it, and just play with a chip on our shoulders, man. I think that we've been doing a great job of that. And we beat some really, really good teams, and we're excited to get after UCLA this weekend, and hopefully see what happens from there. So.
Oh yeah, you guys are a young team, and you guys have really responded well to all those injuries. Has there been anything that you've learned maybe from a teammate or a coach this past season, just that's maybe stuck with you and helped you, improve your game?
Oh yeah, I mean, we have a lot of great senior leadership, man. I mean, a lot of those guys have kind of put an arm around us freshmen, man. I mean, Drew Swift, I mean, was a guy in the fall that, I mean, even in the spring, but I mean, he helped me a lot with my defense, man. And everybody knows how good of a defender he is. And, just kind of having that, like extra dude on the field to, take care of me in the sense of like, just helping me out with footwork, stuff like that. And then there's been a lot of other guys, a lot of, our older pitchers and older position players, like, Connor Davis has been an excellent example of, a guy that has been a leader for us. And he's done a great job in terms of being there for our team. And, he's kind of, he's been great for me, man, just kind of, teach me a lot about what he's learned in his college experience. I mean, and then other guys like my locker neighbor, Brady Corrigan, man. I mean, there's always just kind of, putting an arm around me, just picking me up after, every game, man. Just checking in, asking, and no, so they've all been great, man. It's been really easy with a group like that. Kind of at the at the helm. So
Let's take it back to when a younger Jack Moss, let's say, and just tell us a little bit about how you got into baseball and who got you into baseball.
Yeah, so I grew up in Colorado. So I mean, we had the Rockies, man, and I think when I really got into baseball was when they, it was like a long time ago now, but I played when I was 5. I played T-ball, but I didn't like really get into it until I kind of saw what, there was this one year, it was called Rocktober. I don't know if, a lot of old baseball fans would remember it, but if you're not from Colorado and you're more like our age, like it's kind of hard to remember, but so Rocktober was when they had like Troy Tulowitzki, Matt Holliday, Todd Helton, and they got the Rockies won like 21 out of 22 games, and they were like had like a 0.1% chance of making it to the postseason, and then they went on this unbelievable run. They swept the NLDS, swept the NLCS, and then they had to wait a long time and ended up getting swept in the World Series. But like that was probably, I still have memories about it, man, and I think I was like 6 years old, so. That was probably like the time I really got into baseball. Just seeing that. I was a huge Rockies fan. My dad would take me to every Rockies game, no matter what seats we had. And, I remember, certain summers we'd go to like 4 or 5 games in a row, cause we lived super close to Coors Field. And, that's kind of what started my love for it. But yeah. And then after that, I think my dad, just taking me out in the front yard. And I think we had this fence on the opposite side of the street. It was our neighbors, and he was a great guy, but he had a dog named Fenway. And so anytime I like hit a wiffle ball over the fence, like said he hit a home run in like Fenway Park, something like that. So I just have a lot of those memories. And then he'd take me down to like this little park, and he'd hit me like ground balls, like we'd just play like wiffle ball, for like hours on end. And so yeah, definitely my dad, and just kind of being exposed to a really good baseball environment when the Rockies were had that group. And so growing up watching them was really special.
And, you were one of the most highly rated, high school products coming out of Colorado. Perfect Game had you as the number 2 overall player in the state and the number 4 overall first baseman in the country. When did you begin to notice that, hey, maybe I think I can play college and try this thing professionally? Was there ever a point in your high school career that you began to notice that?
Yeah, growing up, when I was really little, I was, always a pretty good player on my teams, but I was kind of one of the last guys to, I was always tall, but I was like one of the last guys in middle school to kind of hit my like growth spurt and kind of get like bigger, stronger, faster. And like 6th, 7th, 8th grade, like I was definitely like decent, but I was just lacking, like, I don't know, size, athleticism. I was just still growing in my body. A lot of guys like to joke and say like baby giraffe and stuff like that. And, but I kind of got to my growth spurt. I kept working really hard. I think that was one of the biggest things I learned during that time was, just to, keep working, man, no matter what happens, no matter what's going on around you. You can always, still have a really good work ethic and stick to the things you can control. And ultimately what that did is, I got a lot better. I finally, hit my growth spurt. I grew up to, I think 6'2", 6'3" my freshman year. I think I was like 5'7" my 7th grade year. So pretty quick growing. And that was when I started lifting weights and got a lot faster. That was when I started hitting balls a lot farther. That's when, I kind of just really worked on developing a swing that can play at the next level. And then, so yeah, it just kind of took off. And, a lot of those guys that maybe were bigger, faster, stronger, they just kind of stopped working. So so when I got to high school, really, I went to a really good baseball high school, a lot of draft prospects, a lot of pro players have come out of my high school in Cherry Creek. And our high school coached there for 49 years, Coach Mark Johnson. And, he's coached, a lot of big leaguers, Bradledge, Darnell McDonald, just to name a couple. So just being in that environment, being around really good baseball, One of my teammates actually goes to U of A, so getting to play against him this year was pretty cool. But being around a really good baseball culture, that was really huge for me. And that was kind of the time where I was like, you know what, I think I can do this at the next level. I want to, keep working and, see where it goes from there.
And you were originally a verbal commit to the University of Virginia at one point. Before then, you officially signed with, or before you decommitted and officially signed with Arizona State, which you've said before that it's been your dream school. Just kind of what made you fall in love with Arizona State growing up?
Yeah, I mean, we're from Colorado. I mean, it's not necessarily the warmest state in like February and early March, but so what we do, all our teams would pretty much just pack it up and head down to Arizona. And we didn't really, I mean, CU doesn't have a baseball team. There wasn't a lot of a lot of baseball going on during those months. And if there was, it was pretty cold from the schools that, did play baseball. So yeah, I mean, coming down here, man, I mean, I grew up going to Packard and watching a lot of those games, and the amount of time I spent down here in Arizona, just in general, just going to camps and all that stuff. I mean, I went to an ASU baseball camp when I was like 10, so it was pretty cool. And then what's funny is my first autograph when I was really little was from rookie Andre Ethier. So that was pretty cool when he was with the Dodgers. So, I mean, just kind of all those things culminating together, kind of can see why. I mean, it was my dream school.
A couple more questions as we look ahead to you playing on the Cape and playing for Orleans. What are you most excited for just about playing for Orleans and playing on the Cape this summer? You're going to have a lot of ASU teammates, that you're going to be playing against. What's that going to be like, and what you're most looking forward to?
It's going to be awesome, man. I mean, I'm really excited. Like I said earlier, I mean, I've grown up in baseball, you hear all about the Cape, and a lot of the older guys that I've talked to, a lot of my older buddies, told me it's an unbelievable experience. And so, I mean, I'm looking forward to, meeting my new teammates and, playing for Coach Nicholson and just getting after it, man. I mean, I hear Orleans, and, I played with, or not played with, but I know a couple of guys that played Orleans recently, Rob Emery and Bobby Dahlbeck, and, they said, it's awesome and it's an unbelievable experience. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, Nick Wallerstedt as well on the roster representing Arizona State should be a lot of fun. Jack, thanks so much for doing this. Any last parting words for Firebirds fans before we see you out there?
Just looking forward to get out in there and meeting everybody. I'm super excited.
Jack, thanks so much for taking the time. We'll see you out there real soon, my man.
Sir.